This year isn't just a year, it's an opportunity. Think back to where you were 5 years ago. What were your dreams, your goals, your fears? How much have you grown since then? Take a moment to truly reflect. What did those dreams look like? How did those fears shape your decisions? Were you driven by excitement, or were you held back by uncertainty? 5 years can seem like a long time, but in the grand scheme of life, it's just a blink. Yet, in that blink, everything can change. Your aspirations evolve, your priorities shift, and your understanding of the world deepens. You may have encountered setbacks, moments where progress felt impossible. You may have doubted yourself more times than you can count. But those moments weren't just obstacles, they were opportunities to grow stronger. The Stoics often said, "The obstacle is the way." They taught us that adversity isn't something to be feared, but something to be embraced, a necessary ingredient in the recipe for personal greatness. And what does that mean for you now? It means the chaos, the struggles, the unexpected detours of the past few years weren't just distractions. They were the very path you needed to take to become who you are today. You didn't just survive those years, you learned, adapted, and emerged more capable than before. Now, it's time to use those lessons as your way forward. Reflect on the strength you built during the hardest moments. Think of the wisdom you gained from the challenges you overcame. Step into this year not as someone weighed down by the past, but as someone ready to forge ahead, wiser, more resilient, and more determined than ever before. Because this isn't just another year. This is your year, the year where you decide to rise above the noise, to reclaim your focus, and to turn your vision into reality. Realize this. There is always room to grow. How often do we walk through life thinking we already know enough, clinging to our ego as if it were a shield against the unknown? The Stoics understood that wisdom begins with the recognition of our ignorance. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows, said Epictetus. Wisdom is not achieved through stagnant certainty, but through dynamic questioning. Are you willing to drop your ego, to admit that there is more to learn, more to understand? Imagine a cup already full. It cannot hold any more water. This is how we become when pride blinds us to the vastness of knowledge and experience still waiting to be discovered. Just as the seasons change and adapt, so too must we evolve, shedding the old layers of assumed knowledge to make room for new growth. The Stoics urge us to approach life with curiosity, to remain humble in the face of all we do not know. To them, life was a perpetual classroom, where each challenge and triumph was an opportunity to learn. This year, will you choose to be a student of life, open to learning, open to growth? Curiosity is the foundation of progress. Without it, we become stagnant, stuck in our own limited perspective. The Stoics emphasized the value of questioning ourselves and the world around us. Seneca often spoke about engaging in constant self-reflection, urging us to examine whether our actions align with our values. Imagine walking through life with blinders on, seeing only a narrow slice of reality. When we drop our ego and embrace curiosity, we remove those blinders, opening ourselves to endless possibilities for improvement. Every moment becomes an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to grow. Consider how even the most mundane moments, a simple conversation, a fleeting observation, can become profound lessons when approached with a curious mind. This year, will you cultivate the mindset of an eternal student, always eager to expand your understanding, knowing that every question opens a door to new wisdom? Growth is not linear. It requires patience, effort, and an openness to new perspectives. The Stoics remind us that wisdom is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Wisdom is forged through experience, and those who remain curious will always find ways to evolve. They knew that true mastery comes from constant learning, from keeping our minds open to the lessons of both triumph and failure. A wise person recognizes that every person they meet and every situation they encounter can offer valuable insight. Imagine life as an intricate tapestry, each thread representing a lesson learned. When we remain curious, we weave a richer, more meaningful fabric of existence. Each thread in this tapestry, no matter how small, contributes to the greater whole, creating a life rich in understanding and depth. Curiosity not only enriches our personal growth, but strengthens our connection to the world, reminding us that every moment holds the potential to teach us something new. In order to truly wake up with intention and act with conviction, we must first reflect on how short life is. How often do we forget that everything we have can vanish in an instant? The Stoics knew this truth well. Seneca spoke of life's brevity, warning that time is our most precious resource, one we cannot afford to waste. If more people remembered how fragile life is, the world would indeed be a better place, but we cannot expect the world to change for us. Life is tough, life is brutal, and we must be tougher still. Marcus Aurelius wrote of building an inner citadel, a fortress within the mind, capable of withstanding sudden attacks. This fortress is not built on comfort, but on perseverance and resilience. Each morning, we must rise with intention, hardening ourselves against life's inevitable hardships. Will you wake up early, ready to meet the day with purpose, with conviction, and with the strength to endure? Reflecting on mortality doesn't mean living in fear. It means living with urgency and gratitude. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that each day could be his last, not to frighten himself, but to inspire purposeful action. Imagine if every interaction, every task, every decision was made with the awareness that it might be your last chance to do it right. Would you delay important conversations? Would you waste time on petty distractions? The Stoics taught that when we acknowledge the finite nature of life, we become more present, more intentional, and more courageous. This year, can you live each day as if it truly matters? When we live with the awareness of our mortality, we free ourselves from the trivial worries that cloud our minds. The Stoics knew that clarity and purpose come when we stop taking time for granted. Every minute is an opportunity, a gift that should not be squandered. Each morning when we rise is a chance to renew our commitment to live fully and intentionally. We need to wake up to outside manipulations, whether it is endless news cycles, divisive content online, marketing schemes designed to fuel consumerism, or impulsive buying habits. All of these are crafted to keep us grounded, distracted, and far from our true potential. Toxic political discourse and online arguments thrive on our emotional reactions, draining our energy and keeping us from what truly matters. The Stoics would urge us to rise above these distractions, reminding us that what truly deserves our focus is what lies within our control. Imagine how much lighter your life would feel without the unnecessary weight of external chaos, the constant noise demanding your attention, the endless cycle of consumption pulling you in. The first step toward clarity is detachment, letting go of the need to be constantly engaged with the external world's chaos. Beyond the external noise, we also need to wake up to how we treat our bodies, what we eat, how we move, and how we care for ourselves. Epictetus believed that our physical health is a reflection of our inner discipline, urging us to care for our body as we would a sacred vessel. A healthy mind requires a healthy body. Imagine the quiet confidence of someone who eats well, exercises regularly, and remains calm in the face of chaos. That quiet strength is contagious. It makes people stop and take notice, wondering what has changed within you. When you prioritize your health, you are not only preparing yourself for physical endurance, but also for mental clarity and emotional stability. This year, can you become that person? The one who no longer lashes out impulsively, who carries themselves with humility and quiet confidence, and who leads by example, simply by being above the noise. In a world designed to grab your attention and drain your energy, self-awareness is your greatest weapon. Every click, every purchase, every heated argument online is a chance for external forces to control your emotions and actions. The Stoics would remind us that freedom begins in the mind. Are you truly in control, or are you being controlled by forces you don't even see? Imagine a puppeteer pulling invisible strings, the news, social media, advertisements, all working to provoke reactions, steer desires, and cloud judgment. The Stoics taught that recognizing these manipulations is the first step toward liberation. This year, can you wake up to the subtle ways in which your energy is being sapped and reclaim it for what truly matters? Can you choose to be deliberate in your actions, thoughtful in your responses, and immune to the distractions designed to pull you away from your path? Imagine setting clear boundaries, choosing when and how to engage, instead of being pulled in every direction by algorithms and trends. The Stoics believed that mastery of one's inner world is the key to true freedom. They taught that by governing your mind, you govern your life. Picture yourself as a fortress, strong, secure, impenetrable to the chaos outside. Imagine being unshaken by the world's turbulence, steady in your purpose and calm in your mind. When you master your inner citadel, nothing external can disturb your peace. But this mastery, however, requires daily vigilance, a commitment to rise above fleeting emotions and external provocations. It is a practice, not a one-time decision, and it requires patience and resilience. By staying mindful and intentional, you protect your most valuable resource, your energy. So, will you wake up this year and reclaim your focus, your time, and your freedom? Have you noticed how easily we fall into the trap of waiting? Waiting for the right time, waiting for tomorrow, waiting for permission to begin. This habit, born out of fear or uncertainty, often becomes a silent, insidious thief of potential. The Stoics knew this well, and they warned us of its dangers, but Epictetus made it clear, there is no right time other than now. Life waits for no one, and every day spent hesitating is a day lost forever. The Stoics understood that time is the one resource we can never reclaim. The greater part of life is lost in procrastination, Seneca wrote, urging us to seize the day, to act before life slips through our fingers. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast river, hesitating to jump in while the current flows endlessly on. Every second spent waiting is a second lost, a moment that will never return. This is your life. Every moment you delay is another drop of it slipping away, irretrievably carried downstream by time's relentless flow. The Stoics believed that time, more than any material possession, is the most valuable asset we have. They taught that action, not hesitation, defines our character. To wait for the perfect moment is to live in a dream, for perfection itself is an illusion. Imagine what could be accomplished if we chose action over hesitation each day. Small steps taken consistently lead to monumental change. What dreams have you put on hold, waiting for the perfect circumstances? The Stoics would tell you that waiting is an illusion, that perfection is a false promise. Life will never present the perfect moment. It will always demand courage to act despite uncertainty. Imagine someone planting seeds in a field. If they waited for the perfect weather, they might never sow. But those who plant, even when the conditions seem uncertain, give themselves a chance for growth and harvest. So, will you wait another year, or will you finally wake up and take charge of your life? What if the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the decision to act? Procrastination is not merely delay. It is the silent thief of potential, quietly robbing us of our future. Every delayed decision, every postponed action is a moment lost forever. Imagine a builder standing beside an incomplete foundation, hesitating day after day. Without action, the structure will never rise, the dream will never become reality. This is how procrastination robs us, not with loud proclamations, but with quiet whispers that tomorrow is a better time to begin. But tomorrow never truly comes, and each hesitation adds to the burden of regret. Over time, these regrets accumulate, weighing us down with unfulfilled dreams and unrealized potential. The Stoics knew that hesitation weakens the spirit, while decisive action strengthens it. Action breeds confidence, and confidence creates momentum. When we act, we break free from the chains of doubt, fear, and inertia. Imagine each decision you make as a stone laid on the path toward your goals. Without action, that path remains incomplete, but with every deliberate choice, you pave the way forward. So this year, will you allow procrastination to steal more of your time, or will you choose to act, to build, to create? Each moment holds the power to change your life, but only if you seize it. Picture each action as a brick in the foundation of your future. One by one, they accumulate into something grand, something lasting. Will you continue waiting, or will you start laying the bricks today, crafting a life of purpose, courage, and momentum? This is your opportunity to create a life that reflects your highest values, a life that doesn't wait for circumstances, but shapes them through action. To live boldly, we must break free from the chains of our doubts and insecurities. What keeps you from rising above your fears? Often, it is not the world that holds us back, but ourselves, our own tangled thoughts, worries, and imagined limitations. The Stoics knew that true freedom begins within, and it is only when we confront our inner turmoil that we can find lasting peace. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that the mind is its own master, that true power lies in our ability to control our inner world. "You have power over your mind, not outside events," he wrote. How often do we let external events dictate our inner peace? How often do we allow the opinions of others to cloud our judgment, to steer us away from our path? Imagine a ship in a turbulent sea, tossed by waves, yet still guided by its compass. That compass is your inner strength, your ability to navigate life's chaos without losing direction. This year, the Stoics challenge you to turn inward, to master your mind and find strength not in circumstances, but in yourself. What if every obstacle was not a barrier, but a teacher, guiding you toward greater strength? The Stoics believed that adversity is life's way of tempering us, much like fire-hardened steel. What if every failure was merely a lesson in disguise, waiting to shape you into something greater? Life's challenges are not there to break us, but to build us. They are the forge in which our character is refined. When we view adversity through this lens, we become unstoppable. Strength is not the absence of struggle, but the result of enduring it with grace and emerging stronger each time. Imagine facing each day with the mindset that nothing can shake you, that every setback is simply another opportunity to grow. Strength isn't just resilience, it's the quiet confidence of knowing that whatever life throws your way, you have the inner resources to handle it. True power lies not in controlling the world, but in mastering yourself, and when you achieve that, you become truly unstoppable. Consider the way we measure success. Do we count it in wealth, in accolades, in the applause of others? Epictetus would say no. He taught that wealth is found not in possessing much, but in needing little. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Ask yourself, are you chasing things that matter or things that glitter? Imagine a traveler burdened by an overflowing pack, struggling to move forward under the weight of unnecessary baggage. This is how many of us live, burdened by desires that only serve to slow us down. The Stoics invite us to lighten our load, to find joy in simplicity and freedom in contentment. What could you let go of today to move more freely through life? Could you shed the expectations of others, the endless pursuit of things you do not truly need? True freedom comes not from acquiring more, but from needing less. When we find contentment within, we become unshakable. Contentment is the anchor that keeps us steady amidst the turbulent waves of life. Have you ever noticed how much of our happiness depends on things beyond our control? We pin our hopes on outcomes, on the behavior of others, on the fickle turns of fate. But the Stoics knew better. There is only one way to happiness, said Epictetus, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This is the essence of the dichotomy of control, to focus only on what is within our power. Picture yourself holding a fragile glass in your hand. You can control how you hold it, but not whether it eventually breaks. So why stress over what you cannot change? This year, the Stoics urge you to place your energy where it belongs, on your actions, your thoughts, your choices. Can you let go of the need to control everything and find peace in what you can? Can you find the courage to embrace uncertainty, knowing that life is unpredictable by nature? When we focus on what we can control, we reclaim our power and free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. The path to peace begins with accepting what is beyond us and acting decisively on what is within us. Do you understand the power of acceptance? Not resignation, but true active acceptance, the kind that transforms hardship into strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." Life will not always go as planned, but that doesn't mean it cannot go well. The Stoics taught us that everything we experience, even pain and loss, can be used as fuel for growth. Imagine a blacksmith shaping metal with fire and hammer. Without the heat, without the force, there is no shaping, no strength. So too with us, adversity is the fire, and our will is the hammer. Will you resist the shaping, or will you emerge stronger, more refined, more resilient? Can you learn to welcome difficulty as a necessary part of your growth? When we stop resisting life's trials, we discover the strength that lies within us. Hardship becomes the crucible in which our character is forged. How often do we rush through life, distracted and disconnected, missing the beauty of the present? Seneca lamented that people live as if they will never die, wasting time as if they have an infinite supply. Living is the least important activity of the preoccupied man, he said. We fill our days with endless tasks, constantly chasing something, a goal, a milestone, an ideal future. Yet in doing so, we forget to live in the present. This year, can you slow down? Can you truly wake up to the life around you? Imagine walking through a dense forest, eyes fixed on some distant goal, oblivious to the wonders on either side of the path. Each flower, each beam of light breaking through the trees goes unnoticed because we are too focused on what lies ahead. This is how many of us live, blind to the present in pursuit of an uncertain future. But what if we paused? What if we allowed ourselves to breathe, to truly see what surrounds us? The Stoics urge us to pause, to breathe, to notice, not just the big moments, but the quiet ones in between. Life is not something to be rushed through, but something to be lived deeply, moment by moment. The smallest joys, the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter, the stillness of a quiet morning, are what make life meaningful. Can you learn to find joy in the small things, in the quiet moments that often go unnoticed? Joy is not found in grand achievements, but in the simple moments we often overlook. When we slow down, when we open our hearts to the present, we find that life, in all its simplicity, is more than enough. True fulfillment comes not from reaching the destination, but from appreciating the journey itself, step by step, moment by moment.